Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen on Facebook and YouTube. This is Jennifer Noreen with Beyond Brand Collective, and I'm with one of my favorite clients, Marie Petit of Safe Harbor Property Management. And Safe Harbor actually is also a real estate services company, which we're not going to cover much on today, but Marie Petit has been in property management and real estate both for a very long time. So today we're just going to show off some of that knowledge, and Marie's going to talk a little bit about what she's learned over the years about property management. She manages assets for owner clients, right? So what tricks of the trade? What have you learned, Marie? How are you, Marie? Good to see you.
I'm fine. I'm just fine. I've learned a lot about systems. I just want to start off with that.
Mm-hmm.
Systems and what I like to call recipe for property management.
Mm-hmm.
I also like to coin it as the bunny hop, because whenever you hear that song, you know exactly what it is. And so with property management too, there's a recipe or bunny hop syndrome where you're going to do things the same way for everybody, and just use kind of a cookie cutter type of a method to make sure that you're hitting all your bases and crossing your T's and dotting your I's. That is so important because there's so many moving parts in property management.
Right.
You're wearing so many hats, and you're working with not only your residents in their home environment, but you're also working with your clients, the owners who are a business. They run we run the houses or the rentals as a business. So in order to do that, you really have to wear a lot of hats, even a social worker hat to asset manager hat. So it's varied, and it just really, you have to have a system for each one of those pieces.
Yep, I bet. The complexity is incredible. I worked in property management years ago, and the complexity on both the resident and the owner side is just craziness, right? So, and it doesn't matter if it's a multifamily unit or a huge apartment building, or it's just two homes, a duplex or whatever. There's all the things you're maintaining in the home. There's all the financial parts of keeping the property profitable for the owner. I can see why you're saying system. And you're also held accountable legally, right? So property management and realty is both pretty heavily regulated, right?
Right. We're regulated by RCW 5918, which whatever we do is documented, and whatever we do is kept in a file and taken to court if need be, if we have to go to court with anyone. So you might find me in the office, or one day you might find me in court doing an eviction. But that's what I like about property management, is that every day there's something different that we're working with.
Yeah, I can tell just from working with you for a while that there's a huge variety, and it's also hard to get a hold of you at times because you're probably
especially from the 1st to the 10th. Yes,
I know, and that because you're trying to get residents to pay their rent, and you're trying to get owners happy, and you're probably doing balancing and all kinds of variety of things.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that. So when you're not busy during the month, when that busy season shifts, do you spend time honing your processes, or do you have processes that you're just faithful to and you've always used forever and a day?
Oh yeah, we have systems that I brought with me from working in the corporate world in property management. So I bring those same systems to my business for single families and the small multifamilies that I manage. And when I'm not in that rental collection period, of course I have people that are helping with that. I have a receptionist, I have a bookkeeper and a leasing agent, and people that are helping. I'm just overseeing that. But when I'm not busy, then I am making sure that the statements are correct and sending out statements of the first of the month when the rents came in. I'm working on making sure that everyone is working according to their department, making sure that they're all profitable. All the departments are profitable. And so just making sure that, and then it's the first again.
Yeah, right. Just when you get done kind of overseeing all the different parts, probably
Mm-hmm.
balancing the maintenance that happened that month with the cost versus the, just making sure that you're spending the owner's money wisely and
Right.
keeping residents happy so that they're saying great things about you out in the community.
Right.
It's a lot.
That's the difference between a rent collector, property manager, and an asset manager.
Mm-hmm.
Each item is a line item to itself, and each line item in the projection of a budget needs to be within a variance and within a percentage
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that at the bottom line we have cash flow and net operating income for the property.
Wow. Yeah. So it's a lot of different lines to manage for each asset. And you have many, many doors that you're managing, both multifamily.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do commercial, you do single and multifamily residential, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you service owners and residents, and you also service, I think of them as investor owners, where they may already own properties that you're managing for them, but they're also looking for something else. And because you have a real estate background and you work in the real estate world, you kind of know what's going on and can make recommendations
Mm-hmm.
as well.
It makes a really good connection, having property management already in place or are doing property management and working with investors, especially during this COVID thing, where I just heard last week where other realtors are not familiar enough with the latest COVID legislation that allows investors to sell their properties even through this COVID season. So me being so in touch with property management and knowing that just really helps my investors to, do what they want to do.
Right. So you're saying existing owners that want to invest further, or is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about existing investors that have rentals and want to sell them. They're able to do that based on the latest proclamation from the governor.
Oh, okay. And are they doing that more rapidly because of the risk of COVID?
Not necessarily. A lot of investors have thought, investors have a whole different mindset. It's about how it pencils. So if it's going to pencil during this particular market to sell, then they're able to sell.
Got you. And they can use you for those services because they know you and trust you already, and you have that knowledge. They're not having to start a new relationship to do those transactions, which is one of the benefits of working both sides of property management and real estate service or sales and transactions, is maintaining expertise on both sides. So what is? Go ahead.
I was going to say, don't forget that property management and real estate services are under the same umbrella. It requires the same license. So it's not something that's different. It's under the same real estate umbrella.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. So what is going on with COVID? I know we've been able to talk, it seems like every couple weeks or so. And see, what I've heard from you is just somewhat business as usual. I know that you've talked about resources available to the community for rent, but you've never been in crisis from COVID. You've sounded concerned and focused, but not, I don't know, what's going on with COVID and Safe Harbor?
As COVID kind of plods along, people are getting, having caution fatigue, or they're getting tired of being in the house or this and that. And rents, I mean, this is the first week of rents for September, and they're coming in. We do have a few that have not paid. When I say a few, probably about 10 or 15 that haven't paid, that we're working with on payment plans. But it still is what it is. I think even within the proclamation, it states that if you're not affected by COVID, then you are encouraged to pay your rent. But if you are, then there are payment plans that we can make to get through this time period.
So at the end of COVID, if someone has fallen behind on their rent, will they still be owed that, and will you have the right to evict them?
So far, we don't know what the governor is going to say as far as wrapping this up. But so far, at the end of COVID, then we are able to start the eviction process if we don't have a payment plan in place.
Okay, so they have to be committed to making the debt right if they're going to.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have to. We reach out to them every month. Saying, hey, this is your balance, what is your goal, or what is your plan for, taking care of this? And they have the opportunity to let us know.
Yep. Well, I think it's amazing that you've done so well, and I think that that's a testimony to your good processes, which is where we started this conversation. You have good communication and human services type processes where you've built trust, hopefully, with your residents. And so when something like this hits, you're not talking to them for the first time.
Right.
You're getting through the crisis, with a good going into it with a good relationship, right? So, yeah. So awesome. Well, I'm glad you don't have bad news to report. I've told other clients, I have clients in real estate and in property management, and I just, it's always, it's difficult. It is, but it's not
very difficult. And and just, I don't want to sound like COVID has not been impactful to our business. It has been impactful as far as, being able to do inspections and maintenance on a regular, like we're used to doing. There's been regulations to where we had stay at home, where we couldn't do we have regular inspections scheduled, we have things like that. So COVID has impacted everyone's business.
Yeah, so just more stress on not being able to do some of the processes. Sounds like more on the maintenance and the inspection side, and definitely more paperwork, or more having to create adjustments of payment with residents. Seems like that would just be time and energy, right? Just creating more payment arrangements.
Not so much. I mean, if we have accounting system.
Yeah.
Where we can put that into, and it keeps account of what they're paying and what the balance is. So as long as, like I said, as long as you stick with a system and a recipe for success, then it'll work.
Yeah, it works. That's good, and it takes you through unusual times like COVID-19 has created, for sure. So
that's true.
Well, good to hear. I knew you would have some wisdom nuggets to share with everyone on property management. If you're just joining this video, this is Marie Petit, who's the property manager and also a realtor managing. You call yourself a managing broker, correct?
Oh, yes.
At Safe Harbor Property Management, which is located in Lakewood, Washington, but they work properties, I think, into North King County, South King County, to down to Lacey. Is that right? Is that kind of your?
Correct. Yes.
And if you're interested in learning more about Marie and what she does, and talking to one of her team members about either them managing one of your assets, or if you're looking for a home as a renter, please call them. Marie, you want to give them the phone number for how they might reach you?
Of course, I can give the office phone number, which is 253-302-3079. Or if you want to reach me directly, it's 253-820-6298. And
they can email you at safeharborrents@gmail.com, or visit your site, Safe Harbor Rents. That's safeharborrents.com. So, well, thanks very much, Marie. You look so bright and sunny. I guess it's going to go into the 90s next week, which is our summer is going to extend.
I love it.
I know. Too. I'm not really ready for fall anyway. So, all right, well, sounds good. We'll touch base with you again in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, you take care, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.